Why don't you wake me, shake me, don't let me sleep too late. Oh, gotta get up in the morning, about 7:45. Don't you know I'm bound?
You cannot imagine how flattering it is to discover that there's a book club of over 100 people who are discussing my book this week. And I did offer to join you, and then it suddenly occurred to me that having the author present in a book club is kind of like having two people in a wedding dress at a wedding. It somehow doesn't work. It's crazy. And it would kind of ruin the free discussion, which I hope you engage in. But what I thought I might do is just add a tiny little discussion point, which you can either ignore completely or join in on, which is, first of all, just to say, what might alchemy tell you about the effects of COVID? What behaviours afterwards will stick, and what behaviours will revert back to normal again? Now, there are two contradictory forces, I think, at work here, one of which is that human nature doesn't fundamentally change very much. The only thing you can say is that one of the things that's fundamental in human nature is that habit and social copying are incredibly powerful forces. So although it sounds contradictory, sometimes a simultaneous intervention of this kind, which changes what normal means, as I said recently, video conferencing and remote working may have gone from being Dr. Pepper to being Coke. They change what normal means, and they change what we do habitually. So that's one possible thing, that certain behaviours will stick just as much as certain behaviours will revert. And then there's another supplementary question I'm going to ask, which is, why did it take a pandemic before white-collar workers even started experimenting with video conferencing as a technology? I mean, in my business, maybe not yours, but in my business, we're a professional services business. And most of the value we deliver is delivered either by emailing somebody something or by meeting face to face. And it didn't take an enormous leap of the imagination 2 years ago to think that maybe the coming of Zoom and tolerably good video conferencing tools might have a bearing on the way we worked. And yet, until COVID came along, the sum total of experimentation was pretty much nil. Why is that? It does show, if you consider particularly that blue-collar workers have been kind of tailorized and experimented on to eke out another kind of 1 or 2% of efficient productivity, almost within an inch of their lives. And yet white-collar workers don't seem to have turned the same attention on themselves. Any thoughts about that? I'd love to know if you want to report back.
Gotta get up in the morning time, about 1.